That's quite much. How many of you are spending 42,000 hours in entrepreneurships as there is today? So I will tell you about Cybercom. I will not have a corporate presentation because Jan asked me not to have one. But we are actually sitting here. And I have never been in Epicenter before, so it's interesting. We are an IT consultancy company, work with software development and security and management consulting and so on. We have been for the same name in Sweden since '95. That is a pretty long time for an IT consultancy company. We are like 1,300 employees within our companies in 20 offices. So hopefully Okay, this is things of importance. You will see this picture later. But this is, I think, the kind of conclusions today. I'll talk about empowerment, purpose, focus on persistence, learning by doing, sharing, culture more than process, and there's always time for innovation. First, a short view of my and the company's view of innovation. I think this is actually a statement I wrote like 6-7 months ago, and I use it as my own document. It's not a part of our strategy, but this is the way we look at innovation pretty much. First of all, I want us to be a company with a strong and calculated innovation culture. And that is really hard because then you need to define in some way how we are working with innovation internally. And I think most of us is looking at companies like Google and Amazon and those, but when it comes to define your own ways of working with innovation, that is pretty hard. And if we can reach this, then I think we're better than many companies actually. Another statement is that we want all employees to be part of the innovation. We don't want to have a team of the best guys, as they spoke about this morning. We want everyone to participate, not all the time, but at least part of the time. Because we have really smart guys in our companies. It's like 1,400 engineers, and they are really smart. Everyone is not extrovert or expert in the area, but if you start to work with them, a lot of new things will happen. We want everyone to contribute and be motivated to contribute. And also, it's really important that we create a kind of working climate and some kind of methods and tools how to do that. And it's about open innovation culture. We will not sit inside our company and invent things. We need to have clients or partners or some external part if we will work with innovation. The last one is that everything is about our long-term strategies. So we will not create revenues tomorrow, but maybe in 2 or 3 years. We also have a broad perspective on innovation. I don't know, have you seen this? How many have seen this? It's like Dublin's 10 types of innovation. This is a kind of, how you look at innovation. It can be a kind of a financial model or operation or business model or process. I mean, this is different things you need to improve in an organization. And what they're saying that the more successful you are when you work with innovation, the more combinations you have, because then it's really hard to copy. So if you look at those most successful companies, like the disruptive companies, they have often combined a lot of innovations in one package. But when we look at innovation, we are not just saying that it's a technical innovation. It can also be a new way of working with the client or finding a new way of charging things. So that is one perspective. The other is that, either you can work with disruptive things or transformational or improvements. And it's okay to have that look at innovation, but you can't have the same way of working. If you want to reach a disruptive innovation, you have to work with one way. And if you will do improvements, you have another recipe. Do you get it? So, when is it relevant? I think it's a lot of definitions about innovation. What is innovation and when to work with innovation? And I found that, it's better to have a question. When is it relevant to work with innovation? Because innovation is something else compared to like business development. And I think everything starts with a question that says, is it enough to work here? Is it enough to work with known improvements in your business or operation to create better value in the future? If not, then it's worth to start to work with innovation. And I think if you go to the upper management and ask this question, if we are continue to work as we are doing today, will we be successful in the future? And if they don't know the answer, how to take care of that challenge, then we say, okay, innovation might be the tool in that situation. Otherwise, it's just, okay, more lean ways of working, or you know the answer, but you just need to do it more. But when it comes to innovation, you don't really know the answer. Then I don't think it's so hard to get funding, actually, if you ask the upper management. Because if they don't know, they have to do something. Or it can be a feeling in your stomach that you say, okay, can this technology or this that happens around you affect us in a way? We believe it will affect us, but we don't really know how. Like if I was in a real estate business, okay, can VR be something? It's a new technology. I understand that you can have a view of the apartment, or it can be part of my selling process, but I don't really know how. Then you need to do something. Then I think innovation is really good. So that's the starting point. And then you have the exam. It's the end of the road. This is stolen from Microsoft guy. He said something really good. If innovation will be successful, it must fill up 3 criteria. First, it must say, okay, every innovation must offer a fantastic experience, so you will do it again. And this is about everything when it comes to innovation. So first, the experience part. And the second part is it must also be possible to integrate it within your ecosystem. If you have an iPhone and buy an Android smartwatch, it will not work together. So everything that is new must work in your ecosystem. And that is also when you will implement innovation as part of your organization. You have to find a way to integrate it within your company. But the third one, that is probably the most important, and also probably why so many innovations failing. It's because every innovation must also reduce the complexity and increase the value of everything else you do. I mean, there's so many apps, so many smart guys, so many ideas that not are upfilling this. It's just another thing. So the purpose is like, okay, you start here with the question, and then you will be successful. Then here's the tools. We get our point of view. And if you Google of innovation, it's 462 million. So it's a lot of people that probably knows how to do it. But I mean, everyone is struggling how to take it from here to there. And that's it. And I think the most important part here is because it's new and it's unknown, and you must do something that will fit in your organization, or that will reduce the complexity. You have to create a lot of experience here in between, because you don't know, you can't define it, you can't read a book about it. You have to start to try things to see what will work. And that is our philosophy. So we have like 3 problems. You know, in a consultancy company, you have a lot of people that works in projects, like in Mats' organization. I guess we have some consultants, and we are supposed to be experts, and we are supposed to be available. You recognize that? So when you're calling us as a company, okay, we want to have experts in VR tomorrow or yesterday. That means that we always need to have people available. And we always need to have people with the relevant knowledge. And we want to be in the forefront. We need to find a smart way to, how to be relevant with the new technologies. So that was a challenge, actually. Yeah. How do we organize people when they are not sitting in assignments? And that is a kind of extreme situation, because you don't know for how long time it will last. It can be 1 week or 3 months. Depends on the clients and the situation. So that was my first concern. And then we had another problem, how to gather problems from clients, how to have the open innovation culture, how to create that, and how to know that we're working with relevant things. And the last one was, okay, if you are working in the project, how to be innovative in the daily operation, because everyone is really busy. So this is the solutions, and I'm a liar. It seems like this was a plan. We started, okay, this is the problem, and now we're sitting and thinking how it will work. It didn't work that way. We started with an idea, more or less. And then it turned out to work, and then we continued to work. So all of these are a result of kind of prototyping when it comes to organizational development. So first about the innovation zone, I think this is an easy and a really good idea. So what we're doing is that, okay, when the people start to work in Cybercom, instead of sitting and reading some books and doing some self-studies, you're directly in an innovation team. In an agile team from the day one. From the first hour you work come into the office. You say, okay, there's innovation leader. These are the type of, these are the projects within new technologies. Really, I mean, it's software developers, they love new technologies. You work together, and then you exit, and then you have learned something. And it's really interesting, because if you read all books about innovation, they say, okay, it's good to combine experiences and competences and ages and races and sexes and everything. I mean, it happens because we don't know who will be in those in the teams, because it's by coincidence. Depends on what happens with the clients. So we're creating a lot of new interesting teams where we are changing people all the time, but not everyone in the same time, of course. But during a project for 3 months, maybe it can be 15 persons within that team, and everyone will contribute with the new insights. And I think that, even if it's not a consultancy company, I'm sure that you have Slack in your company, where you can, if you just have an agile team, you can say, okay, we don't have so much to do this week, go and work in the innovation team. I think it's applicable in all organizations, actually. And what we also did was we interviewed people, okay, what shall we do during this time? We had a lot of discussions with the consultants, because that was most important for us, was that we started with the individuals and consultants say, okay, you must do something good that motivates you during the time in between assignments. And what we learned from that, they said, we want to have external delivery. We want to show someone the result, what we're doing. And we don't want to work with boring stuff. So we said, okay, this is the framework. So we are working on client projects. If we want to work with Swedavia and we haven't worked with that client, we can go to Mats and say, we are really interested in your industry. Can we do a project together where we can learn something in new technologies? Or we can introduce a technology and say, we believe that this technology, Bitcoin can be something, or blockchain technology can be something for you as a small bank. Are you interested to run a prototype project? And by that reason, we will learn more about, we will get experience from blockchain, the client will learn more about blockchain, and it will be more relevant. We're also working a lot with corporate branding projects. And corporate branding for us is thesis projects and so on. All students goes into the innovation zone. And we also work a lot with kind of integration projects where refugees and so on, immigrants, are integrated in our business. What happens is really amazing. This guy is Gustav. He started in Cybercom as embedded developer. Now he's VR expert. Because it was that project that was in innovation zone for him the time when he entered. And he thought it was fantastic. And that happens actually, because it's a lot of unexpected things that happens when you're not have planned them. Each person to connect to each other and to have meetings. We have one meeting every quarter. That is lunch-to-lunch meeting. In between, It's up to everyone to collaborate, and it works so good. And also, our clients are really interested. Like clients like Mats, they say, "Okay, help us to introduce new technologies." So we have also created a new kind of a value proposition around it. But this wasn't planned. This was coincident and by experience with it. So this is what happens. Now we have like around 70 people that works in different type of projects. I think, how many minutes do I have? 3? Okay, so one result was, okay, one of the guys said, how can we gather ideas from clients? So what he did was to created a model, looks more or less like this. We have challengers, we have innovators. And we said, okay, let's use the infrastructure for innovation soon, but find a way where we can meet the client. So what we're doing now is that we're contacting our key clients and say, okay, we can run workshops within your place where we're working together to identify the challenges, and then we take it back and we do a prototype, and then we work together with the client. That we call Innovation Friday. This is how it could look like. We can help clients to introduce new technology, for example. And the last one was, this is also really interesting, and this was how can we integrate it within the agile teams. And what we did there was this guy, Irfan, he's a really good guy. He said that I want to try a new method. And how many of you are familiar with agile development? More or less everyone. So what we did, we said that, okay, let's spend 2% of the time in the sprint with innovations. Just at a small part of the board, we said, put up the post-it where every team will work with innovation. It was only 2% of the time, and it was the team's responsibility to work with those issues. The only requirement was that, okay, we want them to be within this area. What happened, and then we said, okay, we also want to have a stand-up once a week, 30 minutes, where one member from each team will share their innovations. So they meet once a week, 30 minutes, and discussing and sharing experiences. And what happened was that, okay, without doing a lot of change, we just introduced a new way of working with Agile. We came up with 30 new ideas that we have solved without changing a lot. And what also happened, this is the fun zone part, is that, okay, we said to people, if you want to do something that will affect the culture within the office, come up with that idea. We promise to give you a fast answer. And a lot of people started to think that, okay, this is a really good place to work at because I can affect how it is at the job. So this is things of importance then. Is that okay? What we've done is we have created a lot of new ways of working with innovation based on empowerment. We haven't defined exactly how to work. We have found out new way of working by letting people try out new things. We also have the purpose. Say, okay, what is the purpose with the innovation projects? It is to be relevant for the client and also to learn something new. We have also learned that it's extremely important to have focus and persistence. It's very hard if you are trying all new technologies. It's better to say, okay, let's focus on VR for 1 year and then run many projects within that area, because then you will be successful, probably, instead of changing all the time. And you also need to have persistence. We are working a lot with learning by doing. Mats said that. I think every innovation is actually a consolidated learning. It's a long journey, and then you're consolidating by creating a new business or new product, but everything is about learning when it comes to innovation. We are not working with standardization at all. We have those meetings quarterly. We call Innovation Zone the same. We have the same idea, but I think it's better to share, to see everything as a beta version, than to say this is the exact process, because then you will not be open for new ways of thinking. And the last one, there is always time for innovation. We haven't invented a lot of new things. We haven't hired so many. I'm the only one in the company with 1,500 that work with this full time. But we have achieved we are running 60 projects every quarter within innovation. So if you just look at, if you just do minor changes within your organization and see how can we use resources smarter, then you will achieve a lot. Okay, thank you for